Welcome to Planet Microcap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me today is Ted Karkus. He's the chairman and CEO of Prophase Labs, Inc. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is PRPH on NASDAQ, and Prophase will be presenting at our upcoming investor conference, the Planet Microcap Showcase, taking place in Las Vegas, April 30 through May 2nd, 2024, at the Paris Hotel and Casino. For more information, to meet Ted, to see his presentation in Vegas, please visit our website to register and attend at planetmicrocapshowcase.com. With that, Ted, good to see you, man. How you doing?
Perfect. That was an excellent 30 seconds.
That was good, right? I did pretty good.
I'm very impressed.
Not
We've
bad.
done this before.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. Well, Ted, firstly, thank you for coming to present again in Vegas. We actually did an interview together about a year ago, but before we get into updates, goals, all the good stuff that everybody wants to hear, for those that aren't aware of Prophase, haven't heard the company before, seen any of our previous interviews, can you give us that quick overview and history of the company?
All right. So quick overview. I've been investing in small cap development stage companies for 40 years. I learned a long time ago that most managements, they might be scientists, they might be brilliant at their craft. Most of them don't know how to manage companies. They don't know how to execute. I have a history of executing. I got involved with a company called ID Biomedical as an activist shareholder, forced out the CEO, promoted two guys underneath, did two financings for them, set them on a new track, ultimately sold for $1.4 billion. With that experience, I did the same thing with our company, Prophase Labs. I was one of the original investors back in 1996. And then as an activist shareholder, I didn't like some things that management did. I launched a proxy contest, won control, found out that I won control of an almost bankrupt company. And so about a dozen years ago, stock bottomed at 65 cents. I turned around the company, took over, cleaned house, started again, set the company on a new path. Stock's up 10 times in 12 years. We've also paid out $2.40 in special dividends, which means that anybody that's been with me, most of my friends, I have friends that are large investors that have been with me for the last 10, 15, 20 years. I'm loyal to them. I'm the largest shareholder. My friends are the other largest shareholders. They've gotten returns of between 12, 13, 14 times their investment over the last dozen years. More recently, over the last roughly 3 years, the stock was about $1.50. It's up about 4 times. We paid out more special dividends. So again, just in the last 3 years. So if you're a long-term investor with me, I build value over time. That's my background. That's about as fast as I could say that, Robert.
Very cool. All right. Well,
that's next.
No, and look, we appreciate that. That's your background, but about the company itself, for Prophase Labs.
Sure.
For those that don't know, give us that quick overview of the company itself, what you guys are doing up until today.
Yeah. So when I turned around the company, we had a brand called Cold Ease, Cold Remedy, zinc lozenge. Most people have heard of it. I turned around the brand, sold out for $50 million. We kept the manufacturing facility. And what's interesting now, so before I get into that, after we sold the Cold Ease brand, along came COVID testing. We got into the lab business. Within 6 months, we were doing $100 million a year in COVID testing business, outperformed 95% of the labs in the country. So again, it showed we got into a business that I knew nothing about, and we killed it because we execute. When we transition, we execute. So we transitioned in COVID testing. That business ended. During that period of time, I had this phenomenal relationship with ThinkEquity. They showed me other acquisitions, and I probably reviewed 300 acquisitions, acquired 3 key assets and companies over the last 3 years that have been in development for, let's say, 6 years. And those are what we've been working on the last 3 years to transition from when COVID ended. So last year was a transition year. COVID ended. We have these development stage assets that I'm not going to talk to you about. Those assets, I believe, are not going to take off over the next year. So we have a situation where the stock pulled back because we stopped doing COVID testing. We're now a development stage company. We went through the transition. We just got through our worst quarter. Stock actually went up after we got through our worst quarter. And now for the first time, institutional investors starting to recognize us as a development stage company that has transitioned into some exciting new businesses. And that's what I'd like to talk about next.
Let's get into that. You kind of answered my next question about, last time we did an interview was about a year ago. So you kind of caught us up to where we're at today. So, take it away from there. What are some of these? Yeah, just go.
So turned around, sold the Cold Ease business, kept the manufacturing facility, got into COVID testing, sold out that business. Now, what's interesting with our lozenge manufacturing business, globally, the demand has gone through the roof for lozenges over the last couple of years. The supply of manufacturing of lozenges has shrunk over the last couple of years. And we're in a situation where several of the largest lozenge brands in the world are all desperately looking for manufacturing capacity. So we were able to increase prices on every one of our dozen customers at the end of the last year. Those price increases kicked in the first quarter, and we are now building capacity as quickly as we can to take on some very potentially large new customers. So we're going from a boring business that I used to not pay attention to, $9.5 million, approximately 9.3 million last year, losing a little bit of money. We did the price increases. That increases to about 11 million in revenues and now profitable. We added 2 more businesses, another 5 million of business in the first quarter, takes us to 16 million. We're adding another lozenge line and additional automation equipment. It's going to take us to 40, $50 million of capacity by the third quarter. We have the largest lozenge brands in the world that some of them that we're negotiating with. It could add 30, 40, $50 million of revenue to our business. I can't guarantee it's going to happen, but our business is taking off, our revenues are taking off, our earnings are taking off.
Hold on, Ted. So just to make it clear for anybody listening, you basically now, it sounds like the main focus for the company is creating sort of like a CMO business for the lozenge industry.
So this is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's only one business. It's not
Okay.
even our exciting business. But the reason I like to start with it is because that business by itself, within a year, could be doing 40, 50 million in revenues and generating 12, $15 million in earnings, pre-tax earnings. That business could be in 12 to 18 months, it could be worth 150, $175 million. It's just a matter of how quickly we build it. If somebody new wanted to get into this industry, we estimate it would take them 5, 6 years and 100 to $125 million to build what we're already well in the development of building and operating. And so we have a situation now where my Pharmaloz manufacturing facility by itself could be worth more than the entire market cap of the company later this year. But that's not what I'm excited about. I've got 2 other businesses that we can get into. One is we acquired a company called Nebula Genomics, formed 6 years ago. We do whole genome sequencing. And I'll just tell you, whole genome sequencing studies the whole genome, the whole DNA, compared to an ancestry test that studies less than 1%. So ancestry tests are great for ancestry information. We study the whole DNA to give you highly accurate, quality, in-depth, health-related information. We're one of the leaders in the category in a business that's going to explode over the next year. We're building a world-class lab. We converted our COVID testing lab to a whole genome sequencing lab. We're one of the low-cost providers in the country, if not in the world, for a business that's like in the first inning. It's like where the internet was 20 years ago. Whole genome sequencing is the future of personalized medicine, and we are perfectly situated. George Church is our founder, PhD at Harvard, world-renowned in the field of genomics for the last 20 years. He became a shareholder in our company. He's on our advisory board. He never goes on advisory boards. He introduced us to genomics companies around the world to build this out in a big way. And finally, I have an esophageal cancer test. Esophageal cancer, one of the deadliest cancers. 80 to 90% of people diagnosed will die of esophageal cancer. The reason is because they get diagnosed too late, because there's no good diagnostic tool in the world for esophageal cancer. We have a breakthrough, phenomenal esophageal cancer test that's been in development for 6 years, proprietary, IP protected, all that great stuff. We're looking to commercialize it the second half of this year. We're going after people that are getting endoscopies that have Barrett's esophagus and or bad GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. It's that acid in your stomach. These are people that are getting endoscopies. All we have to do is take the person that already got the endoscopy, take that one specimen. You're getting 7 to 9 tissue specimens in an endoscopy. We take one of those tissue specimens, run it through our test. We can tell you with almost 100% accuracy whether or not you have esophageal cancer. More importantly, we can tell you if you're at high risk or low risk. If you're at low risk, you don't have to get an endoscopy every year. That'll save the insurance companies billions of dollars in what they spend on endoscopies. And if you're at high risk, you're going to get a procedure called an ablation that'll destroy the precancerous cells. It will save your life before you get esophageal cancer. I think it's a breakthrough cancer test. We're looking to commercialize it later this year. If Pharmaloz, our manufacturing facility, I think is worth more than the whole market cap of the company. We're working with the largest lozenge brands in the world right now. And then we have these other exciting businesses that I think are going to explode over the next year. So you have a low risk, high reward situation with our company.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Ted, you pretty much covered everything that I wanted to talk with you about today. I'm going to add an additional disclaimer. A disclaimer. Ted is exuberant. He's excited about his businesses. Everything that he said is his opinion, and of course, what he would like to see happen in the company. So, just wanted to make sure that we add that extra little bit
So
disclaimer
Robert,
there
of
as well.
course, I'm going to assume if
I'm
that
just
they're a
saying
forward-looking statement.
there
But
will
having
be.
said that, the one thing I'll tell you more than anything else, I'm a straight shooter. I believe everything that I just told you. And also, if you go to my website, we have a presentation that outlines all this. I didn't say anything that's not in our presentation. So there's no puffery here. There's no
I
exaggeration.
know.
I believe everything
Ted,
I said.
I've known you a couple of years now,
Thank
so
you, Robert.
that's why
Really appreciate it.
I'm adding that a little extra bit. All right, so Ted, with that, you said the website. Where can everybody go and find more information on ProPhase?
Just go to prophaselabs.com. There's look at the quote condensed presentation slide. Also, our latest press releases give great overviews. One on Nebula Genomics, one our B-Smart esophageal cancer test.
And real quick, Ted, before I let you go to get the website and everything like that, but from what I see, there's you guys just came out with a press release having to do with an AI initiative. You want to get into that?
Yeah, so first of all, go to prophaselabs.com to learn more about the company. There's a condensed presentation that'll give you everything, but critically important. Just came out with a major press release yesterday on this major initiative we're working on. We have one of the largest genomic databases in the world, built over 6 years from Nebula Genomics, all the whole genome sequence. We did whole genome sequencing on patients from over 130 countries. This database is equivalent in size to approximately 150 million ancestry tests. For people that understand data, it's one of the largest databases in the world. We built an AI platform with the leading AI hardware, NVIDIA, and so forth. So we have a first-class AI platform, a first-class AI team, with the largest database in the world, and we have proprietary information from our discoveries in esophageal cancer from our esophageal cancer tests that we're about to release. You put that all together, we are searching for antibody drug conjugates that can potentially be therapeutic cures for esophageal cancer. That's the first step. The point is the level of research we're doing with this AI initiative could be dramatic and out there compared to what others are doing. Everybody talks about AI all the time, but biotech companies that talk about AI, it's not about the platform. It's about the data that you feed it. AI is only as good as the data that you feed it. We have this incredible database that almost nobody in the world has. And so this initiative could be major. This is something new that we just announced yesterday. I'm incredibly excited about it. And the beauty of this is we potentially could create drugs at very, very minimal cost and license them out and make an enormous amount of money. So it becomes another low risk, high reward proposition for the company. But again, this goes back to the idea that Pharmaloz, I think, is worth more than the whole market cap of the company. Then we have all these other things that I'm so excited about. So there you go, Robert. That's my recap.
Very good. All right. Well, Ted, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe, and I'll see you in Vegas.
Thanks, Robert.
Thank you.